Uh, Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Elder Rolls, where a bunch of online friends play a lovely little game of homebrewed Elder Scrolls, Dungeons, and Dragons. I am your host of the channel, Shade, also known as Plague Dr. Shade. And here with us, as usual, is the lovely, conniving, evil, sinister, and very meticulous DM and co-host of this game, Soul Angel.
Totally not sipping tea and waiting for your ultimate demise. Hi, everybody.
Hello. Now, as per usual, let's get a couple of announcements out of the way first. Obvious one, back with us this week is Nox. Hello, Nox. Hi. Glad to have you back. Awesome.
He's dead inside.
Same, honestly.
Yeah, it's the whole mood.
But, that being said, actual announcements. First and foremost, this is a reminder to the chat that this is a mature D&D game. This game includes depictions of adult themes such as drug and alcohol use, sexual themes, psychological torments, gore, body horror, and much more.
Horrors. Body horrors.
That too. Aura, even. Yes. The DM will often, but not always, put a warning before such events occur. Keep this in mind if you continue to watch, as we are all adults of above the age of 21. 2. A reminder of the chat that the music used in this game is merely an add-on to the game and its environment and not the main focus. That would be the game, that would be the story the DM is trying to tell, that would be the world of Elder Scrolls. Basically, a bunch of music that we use is cool. So, aside from Elder Scrolls music that is made by Bethesda, Soul, would you like to briefly mention other people that we borrow music from for this game of yours?
Borrow. It is not the music is just background noise. We're the main focus. I'm the main character.
Oh man.
Companies, me. Anyways, I have music from God of War and God of War Ragnarok, brought to you by Santa Monica Studios. I have music from Darkest Dungeon, which is by Red Hook Studios. I do recommend that game if you really love punishing yourself, and sometimes, we just do. And I also have music from Elder Scrolls, Baldur's Gate 3 and Divinity Original Sin by Larian Studios. I also have some music from YouTube that is completely royalty-free that I brought over into the game. I have some music from Destiny 2 by Bungie and Bloodborne and Elden Ring, which is from Software. I also want to give a big old shout out to tabletopaudio.com, which a good portion of our music other than Elder Scrolls does come from. And I would go check them out if you want some really good fantasy or sci-fi music for your tabletop games. That is completely free. And if you really love them, please do support them on Patreon, because they're amazing, Shade.
Thank you for that rendition and explanation. Mm-hmm. Very appropriate, very useful to the audience. And finally, last announcement is, where are we having this game? What are we doing here? Why are we here? Just to suffer? Obviously not.
Yes.
The Discord that we are having this lovely little game in is called the Esper Discord. It's not just a Discord. It is a game system based off of Elder Scrolls that our lovely Dungeon Master is writing, I'm editing, and Nox is editing, along with Nox doing the artwork for. Soul, would you like to talk about the system you're making briefly?
Okay, so Esper is a system that is designed for social interactions, social encounters with some combat. It is a build your character how you want system. You are given points to spend on features, and spells and all the sorts. And to increase your stats, you start your stats at 0 and build them up throughout time, just like in any Elder Scrolls game. And if you want to get on the ground floor and testing for beta, which is coming soon, if I could pull myself away from Dune Awakening for 5 seconds.
God, me too.
Same.
Yeah. Then please join us. I could always use more testers, including DMs who want to help me develop the dungeon master side, the encounter and campaign building side of the game. So far, from what I can tell, it seems fairly simple, but then again, I'm biased because I'm the designer, so my opinion doesn't matter. I need an outside opinion. Please come join us on Discord, even if you don't want to test. We love talking to you guys. You're all amazing. And we're all very chill, and you will see probably people in voice chats a couple days a week, and that would be me running my games. Come on over. Hang out. We like it. Shade.
Indeed we do. We very much appreciate the consistent feedback as well as communication. We love talking to people. Mostly. Most of us do. Maybe. Anyway, this VOD will be uploaded roughly within a day or so of the live ending. So if you couldn't make it, please tune into my YouTube channel, which is linked below. And if you want to see more, make sure to give me a follow, like the video later on, and make sure to subscribe for more. That's it from me. Yeah.
Just as additional note, you could catch up from the very beginning of this campaign all the way to the end. We are about 8 to 12 sessions from the end of this campaign, which is very cool. We will be taking about a 2-week, hopefully, break before we start the next campaign, which we will be streaming session 0. So if you are really loving us, we love your support, and I hope you enjoy what comes next for this amazing group that I have 100% enjoyed running games for, and look forward to seeing what crazy shit they do next. Anyways, with that being said, are we ready to begin?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Steven.
Last we left off, the party met with Vanus Galarian. There, he used a one-time orb to give the group additional power, then warned them as they began to feel sick that they might feel sick, except for Tiny. They then discussed what to do next, and against Vanus's judgment, the party chose to go for the final orb first and work their way north. After the meeting, Taliesin and Vanus spoke in private, with Taliesin wanting to remove the curse from Arclane's armor so he may wear it. In that talk, Taliesin said several words that made Vanus visibly flinch, and he told Taliesin that he understood the love for another that wasn't necessarily good or moral. Vanus even admitted to still caring about Mannimarco, despite the fact Mannimarco is the way he is. And through this talk, he convinced Taliesin to hold off on uncursing the armor for a little while longer to really think about it and not use it for vengeance or some sort of twisted way to remember Arclane. During this time, Caldron was given a task by Akatosh to go to the Alakir Desert and close 200 Dark Acres. Just kidding. ESO joke, guys. And complete a trial to unlock the power of the armor he wore fully, thus adding another task to be done to the list. On Vanus's suggestion, they called Feldrin to once again be their taxi service. And he took them all to a little Mothit village on the coast of Black Marsh called Nazari. And there they spoke with Elder Daznara and the young chieftain Ra. It didn't take much to convince Ra, but he did set off to check out Zan'Bi for them and see into the final orb. While waiting, the party had spent the night time with the townspeople, giving the children snow and sharing a meal. A way to unwind from the looming threat of Manamarco and to remind them what they fight for. And as it grew later, they were given an empty home to stay in, and they all settled down for a rest. And this is where we pick up, with the next morning of the sounds of Feldrin digging through his magical pack, shirtless, sitting on his bedroll, and muttering to himself.
Taliesin is just watching this.
He's just like hunched over, and you just watching like random objects getting flung to the foot end of his bedroll. No, that's not it. Clank, clank, clank.
How early would this be that Feldrin would have walked in or woken up to like search through his pack?
Sunrise.
Okay. So I think like after a minute he would just speak up. You looking for something there, mate?
I can't find my flask. I think I left it over in Wayrest on accident.
Which flask would that be?
My magical one. One that automatically refills.
Oh my god.
He's like, God fucking damn it. Stop drinking for 5 minutes. It's fine though. He closes his pack. How long have you been up?
I don't sleep, Feldrin. I thought I told you that.
Shit, you're right.
I wouldn't expect someone as big as you to remember that. Small detail. Not a big deal. What did you, have in the flask specifically? What's your fancy for a morning drink?
I usually drink Sujama.
He takes out, this is like before anyone wakes up, or whoever is sleeping, but he reaches into his bag of holding, pulls out the jug, and whispers Sujama.
He does take it, and he takes a drink, gives a little bit of a nod, and then puts some in like his regular flask. That'll be for later. And he closes it up, tucks it away.
Nods and puts the jug away.
You enabler. You're an enabler.
Look, man. He understands.
He's had a rough life.
he understands when he sees a little bit of pain. He's not like giving him like the fucking jug itself.
Yeah, just enough to get by, you know. Besides, it takes him like forever to get drunk because of the Corpus disease.
So
now we just wait.
Aye, we do. I don't know if how long Raw is gonna take, but I hope it's not terribly long. I'm worried about those slavers he mentioned.
I doubt they're active right now.
You never know. It's a wonderful saying we had in the military, at least within my legion specifically. And that was, in the midst of tragedy or bigger major circumstances, there is opportunity to be had, good or bad. It's...
Oh. We may not know where the slavers are right now, but what we can do is build them some defenses while we wait for Ra. I don't think he's gonna take too long. Probably about noon he'll be back. Cause that kid, when he gets something on his mind, he doesn't fucking sleep.
You've known him long enough?
I knew his father mostly. His father talked about him a lot.
Gotcha. If that's the case, He will... If Thribby is not up yet, Taliesin will go to wake Thribby up.
Not sure because I mean that was my question. I know that we're in an abandoned hut, but is it like a one-room hut or is there smaller rooms?
It's a one-room hut.
Okay. So then Taliesin sees that Alera is next to him. Is I think where we ended. But he is not awake yet.
He does like he gives a small smile, but then
He stops you for a second, Taliesin, and gets up, grabs one of his boots from beside his bedroll, goes over to Tiny, and just lays it down, opening right by Tiny's nose. Just wait for it. I did this to Aaron before.
You are worse than me.
Him. I don't know if that would bother him.
His feet are rank sometimes.
He's
like
he's pretty bad shit.
Let me paint you a picture. These are the boots from his Ordinator armor, which are which the set is over 200 years old.
So
he's worn these a long time. It's got that 2nd-century funk.
Okay, 50-50. on a 1, Tiny just keeps sleeping and just like swats it away. 2, he wakes up.
God, I hope it's a 2.
No.
Damn.
He just swats it away.
What? Okay, I know we've done this before as like a bit, but what is one smell Tiny does not like?
Damn, that worked on Aaron really well.
One smell that's sure to wake him up is the smell of spider venom.
Oh, that's fucked up. No. Taliesin would not do that.
Don't tell Feldrin about that.
Blood is the other one that would wake him up.
Well, known him a
Feldrin just wanted to use his rank funky boots to wake somebody up.
He tried. Tiny was just like, man.
He just shrugs. He picks up the boot and hold on. Let me roll a d4. Oh, this is gonna go well. And he goes over to Alera.
Oh
sets
no!
the boot down by her nose and backs up and leans against the wall, waiting.
Our strongest soldier.
That's actually a funny idea. Now that I think about it.
Telling you.
I think she kind of like wrinkles her nose in her sleep, and then just like jolts up and is like, "What in bloody? Are we back in periods?" Looks around.
You just see an Ordinator armor boot right where your head was, and Feldrin just kind of like slow eating a piece of ration, leaning against the wall and grinning.
I think when she sees the boot, her face is kind of just like twisted in disgust, and it's just like, is that? And then she like looks over and sees Feldrin and the other boot.
He's stone cold sober right now too, which is the best
Bigger
part.
boot.
Have you ever washed that?
I have. It's just 2 centuries old.
It's probably got old Dunmer smell on it, I'd imagine.
Didn't work on Tiny, so I had to do it to somebody.
I tried to tell him it wouldn't, but he didn't believe me.
Arn punched me in the face when I did it.
I wanna.
That is impressive in its own way.
I wanna mention that Taliesin is like still like lingering over Thribby, about to wake him up as he's talking. So it's like a sudden voice from behind her.
I think she mage hands the boot and like chucks it across the room.
And like the inside is leather and like the outside casing is metal, so it clanks up against the wall and drops to the floor.
I don't think I have a spell strong enough to fix that. I don't know if even the divines can.
Nope.
Well,
That's what you get when you walk around for 2 centuries.
And considering he's close to Azura, I don't think the Divines could touch that even if they wanted to.
I think she looks over to Farron.
He just
with a
kind of
pleading
gives like
look.
a so-so hand. I think Talos would be more amused by it. I did tell you I met him once, right?
Yes. Is Farron awake, or is he still going?
Just like face down in the pillow, just snoring.
I think you'd probably just naturally come awake during all this nonsense.
Should I do it to Glarior next?
He's not in the hut.
Well, for one, he's not in here. Two, are you sure you want to do that?
I've been stabbed before.
Tiny
He motions to some of the scars, couple of them that have been hidden by the ink on his chest.
What are you even on about?
Well,
Tiny wakes up and is like, why are you so close, Taliesin?
I was trying to get you up, but you were taking quite the time. And this one thought of a bright idea, and he motions over to Feldrin.
He kind of just looks around, looks at Alara, and just is like, what happened? I don't get it.
She's just like still got her nose pinched.
He immediately smells himself thinking he's the problem.
It's not you, I can assure you that much.
No, I'm very curious as to what the fuck you smelled. That my boot doesn't bother you.
He tries to think, is that what that was?
Namira.
There was one time we slept in a goblin den. That was pretty rank.
I did that to one of my friends once, and he said my boots smelt worse than Namira's taint.
He just shrugs. He's like, I mean, it smelled bad, but I mean, I don't know. He's like, am I nose blind? Like, does it just not bother me anymore? He just says to himself
He's
out
just
loud.
gonna go grab his boot and hold it out to you. I don't know, you tell me.
He smells it and just like, yeah, that's rank. How did I sleep through that? I have no idea.
He tilts his head at
They're
Ruby as he
just
asks
looking
the
on
question.
in disbelief.
God.
Like, how is he still standing?
Are you nose blind? Yes, you are. But that's not important right now.
Now I know why people tell you not to meet your idols.
But
He just looks at you a bit offended, Farron, like, what?
Farron is just like, I said what I said.
I said what I said, bitch.
you have my attention, Taliesin. What did you need?
Well, we're still waiting for Ra to get back. He hasn't returned yet. At least that's what Feldrin told me. But he also suggested that we actually build some defenses around the exterior of the village in case slavers come. Was hoping I could use your expertise with my expertise to build something that would actually fit this area.
Tiny goes like full battle maniac, and he's like, okay, are we doing like visible traps, hidden traps, throwing weapons, snares? Like he just like starts rattling off of like, this is what he can do of like how to fight combat.
You can
They're
see-
slavers. I would very much like non-visible traps, so you know.
Okay, so digging a hole.
They can
covering it
die
up.
slowly.
Ooh, I like that. Get the sharp. Oh, poison on the spikes. Those are also very
Perhaps.
good. Make them suffer.
Perhaps
I was
we could
more
ask...
thinking of hangsman noose so they can hang from the trees and slowly suffocate.
You know, Caldron is very good with ropes and knots. I'm sure he would also love to join in on this.
Caldron.
Sure.
And
Sorry, I
there's
already
his
posted about
Morag. There's his Morag Tong side.
I'm sure Glarior just posted that about him.
As you start talking that way, Taliesin actually starts doing the same thing, like he's hyper-focusing on it, showing that he's like actually done this many times. Oh, we could do the hangman's noose, we could do poison. The only problem with hidden traps is I wouldn't want the villagers to be caught in it, so make it obvious on the side of the village but not obvious on the outside, so therefore it's like a illusionary terrain, but, not magic, of course.
I mean, we could also just tell them where we set traps for slavers, and then that way they're fine.
The problem is there's small children.
Aye,
That's true.
that's what I was thinking of.
I've never had to worry about children walking into a trap before. That's new.
I wish I could say the same.
I have.
What I would think is maybe outside of maybe a mile or so of the perimeter of the village, we could set up an actual perimeter there and then mark it somehow from the inside, like I suggested. That way the village knows because it's on their side, but the people coming in wouldn't.
Well, I'm also more better with snow traps, but I mean, we're in a jungle. I think Glarier might have the best input.
Yes, but Glario hasn't been
Where
to this
is-
side of here.
He points outside. He said he was going outside. He was sleeping outside in the breeze.
Eldrin goes outside. Walks around looking for Glarier for a moment, and kind of spots that little elven foot sticking out. Walks over.
Why is this session all about elf feet?
He's at the back of the hut, just like staring out into the marsh.
We're trying to devise traps to catch slavers to keep the kids here safe. Want to help? I'm sure you got some knowledge around in that brain of yours. Also, keep in mind, Feldrin does not know you abandoned Hermaeus Mora and that you're currently holding something from Vivek.
Yeah.
What a shame.
From like the last
shame.
time Feldrin saw Glarior, it's like he did a complete 180 and turned inside out, but he doesn't look any different.
Mhm. The goopy
He-
insides are now on the outsides.
Yeah. He remains seated. He doesn't look at Feldrin when he's talking, unlike every other time. What, are you incapable of making traps yourselves, or?
No, this is a group effort because we need to cover the whole perimeter of the village.
Hide things in the foliage, then. Tripwires and rope traps work well if you can hide them in the trees, cover them with leaves. Dig pits, spike pits, bone spikes.
Well, good ideas, but I want the slavers to suffer. Slowly. He does have that, murderous stare in his eyes. That it's like, oh, there's the Moregtong. Well, it's coming back out. Oh, boy. And he's stone cold sober, too, right now.
Well, if you want them to suffer, that's a little bit of a different matter. Could
I
just
thought
dig
you would be an
holes.
expert in that.
I am. It's a little difficult to think right now.
And about this time, he does notice Mora's whispers missing off your shoulders. Doesn't really say anything until he sees the staff. Get that.
Caretaker Vec.
Of course he did. He still likes to meddle, I see.
If by meddling you mean exposing. He takes a moment to calm down, closes his eyes. Revealing truths. Opening my eyes, I suppose. Then, yes, he did meddle.
I see. No, I understand.
I don't think so.
He does go and lean against the opposite tree facing you.
Clarior like looks at him. He
He
still
has
has
a
that like 1,000-yard stare, but it's centered on Feldrin. Like he's like Feldrin himself is 1,000 miles away from him.
Feldrin's expression is soft. It's not that usual mute, you can't read me face. He's just has a soft, sympathetic expression. I do. Arin and Noath both told me in detail what happened to her. So I understand. And I've been through a thing or two that is not pleasant either. I think it's kind of a curse of being prophesied. When I say him meddling, is he could have pointed you elsewhere. He could have pointed you to a different god, different prince. Instead, he chose himself.
No. I owe him no worship. I owe him no reverence.
Good.
I chose and I stated explicitly that I will not be owned. And in doing so, I have lost everything I knew about myself.
Sometimes we have to strip ourselves completely bare to learn our true self. I've been through that twice. Honestly, I don't think you would have really liked me back in the Third Era.
Would have. You assume I like you.
He does chuckle a little bit.
He
I've
looks
done that
completely
before.
serious.
He's completely serious. Yeah, well, I've been told that before and ended up fucking the person, so.
He gets like a look on his face, like a.
What does he mean by this chat?
So,
Don't even think about it.
you're taken, I wouldn't. Granted, this guy also tried to choke me to death during the act, so. You don't have to like me. God damn it, Wave.
Yes.
Well, you don't have to like me. There's plenty of people that don't like me, and I'm pretty sure Farron doesn't like me anymore. He keeps saying, don't meet your heroes. Honestly, he's only seen me at my low points.
He's right.
I guess in some cases that's true. But I'm gonna try and get focused for the rest of this to help you guys. Which means, like when my son was born, the flask gets put down for a bit.
How noble.
He shrugs. Yes, you did. Get wrecked.
What a shame.
just wanted to see if you wanted to help build those traps, since you seem like the type to know how to bury things in the forest real well. I'm not calling you a squirrel. He kind of gives like a little joking smile.
Glarior's expression doesn't change.
I'll
That
do
would not be
honesty.
inaccurate.
I'll do honesty. Vec is probably a good choice. He's done some pretty nasty things. He's trying to make up for it.
The least of which can't be said for others. For the people I loved. If you want to make the slavers suffer, dig a pit, cover it with vines, enough to look like grass. Place at the bottom of the pit something sweet, sugar water maybe, doesn't matter. Slick down the sides of the pit so they can't climb back out when they go in. Make it deep enough that they might break an ankle, a leg, a foot, something, but they'll still be alive. They will be alive by the time the bugs get to them, and they will be alive by the time the birds get to them, and they will be alive when they're pecking out their eyes and the worms are digging in their skin.
Sadistic. I like it.
I learned from the best. Is my contribution. Leave me to my pain.
If you ever need somebody to talk to, don't come to me, go to Arin. She understands the Hermes Mora thing way better.
Neither of you would be my first, third. Nope. First, second, third, fourth, or fifth choice.
I honestly think Arin should be your first.
No. Not to me.
Do you say so? Don't let it eat you alive. He turns and walks away.
Enough to feel. That's all I need. To feel.
He just stops for a brief second, wondering if he should say something, but waves off and continues on. Back inside. Well, Glarior had a sadistic idea, and he repeats what Glarior said.
Yay!
Now Tiny is clapping. It's like, oh, that's brilliant. I never would have thought of that.
Nah, that makes
there's
perfect sense.
There's
Milk
a
and honey
similar trick
torture.
with
Went
there's
for
a
the
similar
past
trick
little
with
goblin.
wolves.
Keep in mind, we're in the jungles.
I know.
Broken skin, bugs will burrow in.
He.
Well-
Go ahead, sorry.
Well, Tiny's like, well, in case it ever comes up later, there's a thing called the rusty axe or the bloody axe trick that you guys can hit if you're ever in the winter. You bury an axe in the ground so the blade's up, and then you put some blood on it, and then the wolves keep licking it, thinking of the blood is tasty, not realizing it's their own, and then they eventually kill themselves due to the blood loss from constantly cutting their tongue.
You see
Oh,
Taliesin
shit.
taking notes. And I thought that was just some old Nordic tale.
No, it works. It works better if they're starving and there's not a lot of food, because then they're too hungry to realize it's not their blood, or they think it's something else's blood and not their blood.
He looks up. Well, now that actually gave me an idea, now that I think about it. You know how if you leave milk out for too long it curdles, right? And if you try to drink it you get sick.
Sure.
Yeah, if you do it improper.
Right. What if...
Tiny shrugs.
Well, we're in Black Marsh. Maybe that the humidity and the heat will have an effect on it, why not, in mixing with the sugar water, we could also do some sort of sweetened milk to add to the amount of bugs that actually go in there, and make it also rot so it invades not just the skin but the slaver's senses, 'cause that shit smells terrible.
True.
Yes,
That is
and I have an idea to add to that. We find a way to hook it to a jar of it to the bottom of what's covering the whole of the trap, so when they fall in, it breaks and then starts attracting insects.
That's a good idea.
Oh, like a clay pot.
Aye.
Yes.
Mm.
And the clay will be just perfect enough to also cut skin on landing as well.
We'll definitely need to see how many spare clay pots the villagers have.
Hi, chat. This is how we feel about slavers.
I think there's a brief second where Tiny realizes of like, oh yeah, it's been a while since he's been this dark, and he kind of just does a quick take around the group to see how everyone else is feeling. But, while we're just talking about that and we're trying to figure out, noticing that Glare didn't come back, Tiny's like, I'll be right back. And he kind of
As you guys are talking, as you're saying that, Veldrin's eyes just seem to glaze over for a minute. And his head kind of just... He looks like he's giving a million-mile stare to the ground.
This is like as Thurby's leaving.
Yeah.
Feldrin? He's like starts snapping his finger in front of his face.
After a moment, he snaps out of it.
You're right.
Do you want me going with you to Zan'Bi?
I don't think it's terribly necessary. I mean, there's about 6 of us, and I'm pretty sure you have other things to do. We just need you for transport at this point, right?
Okay, just be cautious,
What's the matter?
I think. I'm not entirely sure what she was trying to say to me. That's hard to describe, even.
Would you...
All I can gather is to be cautious.
Huh. What was the exact message she told you?
It was more of a feeling.
Like a sense?
Yes.
Feldrin has Azura sense confirmed?
Well, she doesn't... From what I could gather from the lore, is the visions that she gives the Nerevarine are not clear at all. It's open to interpretation. And given the fact he just got one while he's awake is a little jarring for him, so he's kind of dizzy right now. He just looks kind of flustered for a moment. Wish you wouldn't do that, but... Just be cautious. Think ahead.
Alright, that's not cryptic at all.
You ever gotten a vision from her?
No, but I've gotten one from a god.
Yeah, she likes to make it vague as possible.
Jesus. Well, before I decide to go and ask a bunch of the lovely Lumorthit people about clay pots like a madman, Would you be able to describe the vagueness of this vision at all? A little bit more? Like, scene, whatever you saw, anything.
Was more of a sense of dread. Colors of red, gold, and black. He shrugs. See what I mean?
That definitely, is a sense of foreboding, yes.
That's all I really got is my vision just clouded over with those colors and I felt dread. I was dizzying for the first time in several months I had that happen.
Welcome back to, a land where the gods and princes can see you, I suppose.
Yep.
Right then. Farron, Alira, Caldron.
Yeah, Farron just witnessed Azura giving him a vision when you're just like looking at the moonlight blade like, the fuck, I'm right here!
Favoritism moment.
Yeah. Is her sweet Nerevar, I mean. Poor guy.
At the very least, if you're not too, buggered by that whole, post-vision sickness and whatnot, maybe we could start, scanning the perimeter, finding a way to map out exactly where these traps are to the villagers and get stuff ready, hey?
Agreed.
Very well.
He just walks out like nothing happened. He's clearly used to this shit.
He will once again look between the people in the hut.
I do think Siren's gone. AFK.
Man?
Born also just
God.
got back.
Oh, welcome back. Excuse me.
They're not real. It's a conspiracy by Ohio, and Ohio isn't real.
It's so true, bestie.
I tried that on a different D&D game and it didn't work.
Oh,
You
that
have to
sucks.
be completely serious about it.
Yeah.
It was
You have to tell
You
them,
have to be like,
you don't have hiccups, they're not real. Prove it. You can't prove it. Hiccup right now, you can't prove it. They're not real. You're lying to me.
they're
They
not
don't
real. What the fuck are you talking about? They're not real.
It's fine. It wasn't like the bad hiccups. It was just the one you get after a burp.
Oh yeah, those.
Well, if you say tiny.
The really
ones,
bad
then-
ones are like really deep and they actually hurt. And they don't go away easy.
Yes, Nox. Briefly after they, or at some point during that conversation, when after they were done planning, Tiny said he would be right back and he would go find Galarier.
Okay. He has
so-
not moved.
He just like, kind of like when you approach animal that you're not sure of how, he's just like, Galarier, how's it
It's okay,
going?"
puppy. It's okay.
It's very much of like, it's not as usual. He's like, almost, can I come closer?
As you like approach, you see the his Galarior has like got his back against the hut. And he's staring out into the marsh. But the ear closer to you fixates on you long before you say anything.
That's fine. I'm not trying to be stealthy.
What is it, Thurby?
So I know it's been kind of a busy few days, and he walks over, opens up his bag, and he's like, a lot was going on, and I didn't want you to feel sad that you missed these, and then he pulls out the 2 silver daggers that you threw away. He's like, I don't know if you still wanted these, but... And then he also pulls out the radiant dagger that he lent you borrow, and he's like, I don't know if you still want to hold on to this one too.
He looks at the daggers, and you see his expression change. It's reminiscent of when he would have like quote divine visions from Mora or see something that's not there. And his face softens with a childlike pain. And he doesn't say anything for a good moment. It's like looking at the daggers, he's probably reliving that moment with each one. And he reaches out with uncharacteristic hesitation, but takes all 3.
Okay, well, I also have different words of wisdom that I was told, and he goes into his bag and pulls something. As he's looking for something, he's like, there's a lot of companions and elderly in the village who sometimes would forget things about themselves. Like, I don't know if it's hit in the head too many times or just old. It happens to a bunch of people. But whenever it did, people would always say, like, I don't know what I like. I don't know this. Where's my house? Right? And so we then take them to the bar and we're like, is this your favorite food? Or is this your alcohol? And for some of the ones that we know this is a lot, we kind of just skip to the ones they like. And then he pulls out a jar of honey. He's like, got this on Necrom when last time we were there. Not the same place that Lyra got, so probably not as good. And then hands you the jar. If you are confused at what you like and don't like, I'm not sure how magic works. I don't know if that affects your taste buds, but you really liked honey before, so you can try honey again. And then you just baby steps, like then find out of I like this color or I hate this food or things like that. And he hands you it was like 10 silver, so I'm not sure how big this jar is.
How many ounces is the jar?
You said it was like 10 silver from the general store in Necrom?
Yeah.
So
Right, it is 10 silver.
I'm not sure how big that is.
Probably a pint.
Alright. Glarior, like, takes it in both hands, and sets it on the ground, close to the daggers, like he's just got them, like, sitting on the dirt in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
He does open the jar, and he stares into the jar like he's waiting for it to say something or someone to say something to him. And he, like, it does take him a while. Everything he's doing is with, like, a dreamlike slowness. Like, he's not sure of anything anymore. Like, where his hands are, how heavy something is. He, like, scrapes his claws into the jar and just licks off the honey. What kind of honey is it, Soul? Is it just like wildflower, or is it anything special? I'd imagine probably not special.
Yeah, if it was special bougie stuff, it would have been more than 10 silver. It's just basic wildflower honey.
Okay. Um.
Unfortunately, like all honey in this world is like raw honey and not like ultra filtered until it's like clear and looks like fucking corn syrup.
So all honey in this world is
Unfortunately, what do
good.
you mean? I love eating beeswax. Um.
Why
I love
the-
raw unfiltered honey. It has actual taste to it.
um.
Unlike
like-
that like $5 sous vide honey jug you get in
The goop.
the goop.
I want to drink the honey straight from the bees, asshole.
I want to pick up that bee and say, "Give me your honey."
Lick a beehive. He.
So tingly.
I'm
Tastes like
allergic.
stings.
I think there's honey in my bees. He sits there for not as long as he had taken to take the daggers or the jar. And like he still has his his fingertips and therefore claws in his mouth. They're not moving. And he lifts his gaze out to look back into the marsh. And he uses the opportunity of his fingers being close to his face to like curl up his hand and press it against his mouth. And sorry, a spider just ran past me. NASCAR style.
Was it galloping?
No, it was skittering. Just
Mafala said hi.
Turbo time!
Oh, there's a thrasher outside. There's two thrashers outside.
I keep
Bitch, you
getting
scared
this.
away my goldfinch.
I keep getting this one lady popping up on TikTok who has like a giant huntsman spider in the corner of the room behind her, and the amount of people that are like, "Oh my god, it's like, is it at least paying rent?" And I'm like, dude, it literally never moves, and it's sitting in the exact same position every single video. It's a fucking decal.
Anyway. And he's kind of like crushing his hand into his, or not his hand, but like he is crushing his knuckles into his like teeth, I guess. And he gets that like rhythmic sort of shake that like someone trying really, really hard not to cry, but it's like 99% there anyway.
Tiny's just like, I can leave if you want to be alone now. I just haven't had a chance to talk to you till now. So, and he kind of does like that one step away, like, did I leave, or are you gonna stop and stay? Or are you gonna tell me to stop and stay? Almost kind of
This
like
is
waiting-
Glarier. When has he ever done that for anyone?
No.
Yeah, no, but so he's giving him the chance, like, Tiny's not sure if Glarier wants to talk or not, so if Glarier doesn't say anything, he's just gonna back away and give him space.
As Tiny is backing away, it's very faint, it's almost imperceptible, but it is clear what he says. like muffled into his hand.
Reminds me of my mother.
Aw.
Fuck Tiny Wood. Tiny was just like, that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's great you have your memories back, and you can just build on one thing from another. But you did have a lot going on, and I don't want to take up any more time. But if you want to chat, I'm always available unless I'm sleeping. Okay, bye. And then he's like, I did good. I don't want to fuck this up, so I'm leaving now. Leaving on a
Trying
good
to make
note.
friends with him. Gotta make friends with the skittish Bosmer.
Suffering.
Yeah. Anyways,
Glarior does not stop Tiny as he goes away.
in this time, as like all this is going on, Feldrin is talking to the village elder and some of the other adult villagers about setting traps, and you watch as Q gets a little too excited and animated and runs off into the jungle. I unfortunately do not think she's available, so she wouldn't be able to, yeah.
I think, while that conversation was going on, Taliesin was trying to get, the others essentially up and at him to go and start basically doing what Feldrin's doing. Starting with, like, the clay pots. I think it was Alira that suggested going to Zilzar first about it.
Yeah, Zilzar. That would be Q and Ra's mother.
Excellent.
And Plu's, of course. Plu's one you can't forget.
Yeah, baby.
Go baby. So you get that started, and Zilzar does point out several good spots. Thank you for the react to that gif. I was trying to be obscene. Yeah, points out really good high traffic spots around the jungle to set them up. And then she does gather the kids together and starts talking to them about it while you guys begin digging holes and setting up traps, and Feldrin even, like, will climb down into the hole to make sure, like, the bottom is all set up, climb out, or use magic to get out. Levitation spell, which, yes, I know, was fucking banned by Hannibal Traven, but he doesn't give two fucks. He knows that spell.
Banned by Hannibal Traven in Cyrodiil, Lamau. Get fucked.
Lamau, he knew the spell before you, Hannibal Traven. Get fucked. So, you do spend a huge portion of the day working on that.
Taliesin would ask Thribby to, actually, I'll just do this in character, like in the middle of like working. A couple of the holes, Taliesin pours like the rest of the wine that's in the jug in there, because I know that wine can also get really fetid if you leave it out for long, and it's also full of sugar and shit.
Yeah.
So he'll like do a couple holes with like bits of the wine, and then he'll turn to Thribby. This is gonna sound like an odd request, but do you think you could use your jug for the milk I suggested?
Sure. I mean, I'm gonna do this for Soul just for shits and giggles. Should I make mayonnaise instead? Like, would that smell even
Yes!
Oh.
Mayonnaise!
Rotten mayonnaise smells awful.
It does. Rotten mayonnaise smells nasty as hell.
Here,
regular
This is
mayonnaise.
perfect.
I'll
I
lead,
love it.
I'll lead into that. Or do you think something else would smell worse and attract more bugs? What do you think?
What is that thing that like, you
Mayonnaise.
put in a sandwich sometimes? Starts
At
with an
this,
M.
Feldrin sticks his head out of a hole. Mayonnaise.
I mean, I can try to make mayonnaise. Let's see. Pulls out the jug. Mayonnaise.
And this thick, viscous, goopy white stuff fills your jug, and when you shake it, goes just kind of like.
He's like, oh hey, it worked.
around.
That's the fucking noise it makes when it's out of in a container like that. Huh.
Yeah.
So that like sloppy gooping sound, like when you just take a handful. Tiny's just gonna like take a couple fingers and just like taste it first.
It's eggy. It's oily. It's a little
It's
bit.
just fucking like.
It depends. Is this bougie mayonnaise or is this Hellman's?
You know, this is all you, DM. You wanted someone to make mayonnaise out of a jar. You got your mayonnaise. Hit me with it.
I did. I'm a happy dungeon master. It took 3 different campaigns to get mayonnaise made.
Taliesin looks as Tiny, tastes it, like, so, how is it? I haven't had mayonnaise in a long time.
He does that like.
It's bougie mayonnaise. We'll go with bougie mayonnaise. It has like garlic and lemon and
Hell
like
yeah.
dill in it. It's
like,
the bougie stuff.
Don't eat it raw. He immediately takes like a piece of ration or jerky, like puts some on it and then eats it, and is like, okay, yeah, that's at least better.
That's supposed to be down here in the trap, please.
Taliesin
It's
takes
just a
like,
little bit, just a taste.
Taliesin takes like a small piece and tries it himself. Oh shit, this is the stuff that... We're gonna use that. That's what it summoned.
Saru, who has been quietly watching and just kind of like, you set up because this is the curious one that has a desire to learn magic, just kind of watches from around the corner. What is that white stuff?
Mayonnaise.
It's
a food seasoning thing.
We call it a condiment. It's something you put on top of food. Usually like a, you ever had a sandwich before?
Yeah, I have, but we usually use dry condiments like spices because that way it doesn't go rancid out here in, the humidity and the frequent rains.
Well, if you tried storing it in a place that you can deem as, not terribly hot, and you put spices within the actual thing, it'll last much longer. But that's not the point. This is something from
Feltrin
the
just
north.
rolls his eyes. This is Black Marsh. Everything's hot.
That's what she said.
Taliesin wiping
Oh my
sweat off of
God.
his brow as he says this. And shit.
Baron rolls his eyes hard.
I feel like at this point, Glario rejoins the others. Like in
And
the middle of
Saru
the
looks
mayonnaise
up at
debacle.
Yeah, Saru looks up at you. He's a little bit shorter than you because he's like 11.
How tall is he? Is he like slightly shorter?
At this point he'd be about, because little Moffat average about 5 feet tall, and he's 11, so he's prepubescent, so he's probably 3'2".
Okay, so
Glario shrinks himself because he has to be shorter.
Watch you guys. Campaign 2, 20 years later, his kid's like fucking through the roof with 2 kids of his own.
6'7".
what do you think Tigroth's so tall?
His voice is like deep, and he's like a built little Muppet, like, hey, stop.
What's going on here?
Just
Towering all of it. Anyway, when the DM gets off track.
I think Tiny also does help to dig holes because, Glario or Noxie missed it. Tiny's passive athletics is now a 26.
Oh my god.
Yeah. He has a +6 in strength now.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
So
Because
Tiny's
the
literally
axe, when
like,
exalted, the axe of Talos, when exalted, and that puts 1 stat point into strength and could go above 20.
Tiny is now like the guys in holes, just like digging deep holes and just going.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's
too
too
damn
damn bad. Fucking lemmings, Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
It's a
There's a
surprise.
child.
I'm not surprised that most of our viewers are on the VOD on YouTube.
Child.
Because we're literal fucking children. At least then they could slam the forward button.
speaking of children, what does this wee one want with me?
We're building traps to catch the slavers who took my uncle. You want to help?
He like
Also, my mom and my dad.
Blinks.
He keeps like
This kid's
glancing.
a fucking orphan.
He keeps like glancing over towards Tiny. It's like very. Glarior makes faces when, like, very specific faces when there's a smell around that he doesn't like. And
Amazed.
yes, the big like face he makes, I think I've described it before as like, you know, when you put like peanut butter on the roof of the dog's mouth and they're just like
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
keeps doing that, but like
I'll
subtly, just like
I'll do you one better. I gave my cat a little finger of whipped cream, just like a little pea-sized amount. He rammed his face right into it and got it on his nose, and he had to lick it off of his nose.
Amazing.
So he's like just and wiping his face with his paw. It was fucking adorable.
but Glarior, like, he keeps like every few seconds or so, he keeps like licking the roof of his mouth. Gross.
Sure. What are they doing?
Yeah, Feldred's gonna climb out of the hole. You ever had Necrom Tzatziki? Points to the mayonnaise. That's the base of it.
He stares at Feldrin like he's grown a second head.
If it makes it easier for you, it's going to get rancid in this heat and really hurt the slavers.
I need.
It's
chimes
not
up.
rancid yet.
Tiny's
No.
like, oh,
It gets worse.
Taliesin had the idea that this is gonna also cause the slavers to then suffer a smell attack and then just hate their life while they're also stuck in the bottom.
I did like the idea of the sugar water though, but this does it worse.
Oh.
Yeah, and like at this time, as you're talking about like the logistics of what condiment to use to torture slavers in a hole, Rod does walk up, scratching behind his ear. What is going on?
Glarior gives Taliesin the nastiest look when he says, better? Like, it's like it was a personal insult on his family line. And he looks back at Feldrin and crosses his arms.
Do you know why I suggested only sugar water?
I do. Gets
No.
into wounds. Makes insects get in the wounds.
Not only, but sugar water, unlike
He looks at the source of the mayonnaise smell.
Unlike that, sugar water doesn't smell like much and will blend easily with the jungle.
Fair. That
You will have
will
a much
smell like
harder
rotten
time
eggs.
disguising. Yes, you will have a much harder time disguising something like this, throwing subtlety out the window. Sugar water. Sugar!
He, like, raises a hand, like he's, like, frustrated at idiocy.
Every living thing needs fuel. Sugar is the basest of fuels, which is why I suggested sugar.
I relent. You are
Anything
correct.
can thrive. Anything can thrive in sugar. Specific things that may not be out here in as large of numbers gather on milk, egg, whatever that is.
I think
My
it
point
is
being,
milk and egg.
this is less effective. But what do I know? It's not as though I've laid traps out in the wilderness for the first 40 years of my life.
Tiny just
Well,
like puts the jug slowly into his bag. He's like, I'll go find some sugar water. Did we get tongues cast on us? PT dubs by somebody.
I'm assuming Alira.
Feldrin would have cast it as soon as Raw walked up.
Okay. Tiny would go to
Who
Rod.
is still standing there waiting for an answer, by the way.
Tiny then goes to him and is like, oh, we were gonna make traps for slavers while we were waiting so they don't fuck with your village. Do you have sugar that like we can then make sugar water and into traps?
You can ask my mother. She might have some from making sweets.
Okay, thank you, and then turns and leaves. Like he's like, I fucked up, I need to fix this.
Taliesin.
God dumps out the mayo.
He's gonna like try to find like a fire or something and then just dump it in the fire.
Oh,
no.
That's gross.
And suddenly, the forest starts smelling like burning eggs and oil.
Lyra just
Like-
reaches out a hand towards the good mayo, like, oh, this could have been so many things.
Taliesin immediately face palms.
She had a vision.
And the mayo wasn't even my fucking idea. Okay.
What? Felcher just looks like he's offended. Like, what?
Glario, like, looks over at Taliesin.
What did you suggest?
Well, I suggested putting a different kind of liquid in a jar beneath water so that when they fall in, the shards break, and the sweetness of that liquid seeps into the water to make it worse. Like I said,
What other liquid?
milk. Something natural. Something that's probably
That will
air,
also smell rotten.
but it wouldn't be...
You don't find milk in the marsh.
So I was like, I never
Does it not
actually
occur
had
to
milk.
you that... Does it not occur to you that milk and other things that will spoil rancid may not exist out here?
No, because I've never been here.
It doesn't take a journeyman to understand that cows and goats and oxen do not live in the marsh.
Time for some milk in.
Very well.
Next time, just take my advice. Or don't ask if you won't follow it.
I didn't ask you.
know you didn't. He did.
Nods over to Feldrin.
He just holds up his hands. Sorry.
And of course, my savage ways are inferior to your intellectual fortress. And he walks
I
off.
never said that.
Not you.
He like whirls around to bark that at Feldrin, and walks away to dig. Probably not dig a hole. He can't really do that.
Just like
It's
his
getting us nowhere.
little clawed fingernails, he could just paddle through the mud.
He probably could dig a pretty decent hole, but he'd wild shape to do that.
Yes,
Turns into a badger and starts digging.
I mean, he probably will actually. Yeah.
As Galerior says, the intellect fortress and savage ways, he turns to Feldrin and shrugs. I didn't say that either, but it's always directed at me, so whatever. I don't care.
I was just printing the print of his nose.
Oh, get ready for more of this, by the way. I'm gonna be the one directed at. I hope it is. I'm loving it right now. He's currently digging the next hole.
Okay. You guys hopefully explain things to Ra, who is just still standing there, by the way. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And he does approach you, Taliesin. I don't know what's going on, but I'm sure I can find out from the Elder, but,
Oh, no need. I'll just explain
I have
everything.
some news.
Sure. Go ahead.
The orb is no longer on the ground outside the village. It's up in the village now. And I think there's somebody there claiming to know you.
What?
Imperial brown hair, robes. Didn't catch his name.
What were the color of the
He's
robes?
purple and black.
Well, that's one
Young
of the colors.
looking. Young looking.
Does this ring any bells to me?
Oh, yeah. That sounds like Infilius.
Towels and face palms. And the actual intellect fortress shows up. The fuck is he doing here?
I don't know, but if you got a way to contact him, I would. Ask him what he's doing there.
Alira's already casting sending.
Okay.
And Phileas, are you in Blackmarsh?
There's like a
You...
pause. Then, no, I'm back in Imperial City dealing with the damage.
You can see her face just pales, and she's just like, oh no.
What's the matter?
And she looks over to Taliesin. It's not him. He says he's in Imperial City. Which means... it couldn't be right.
Oh, if it's not him, then who in Oblivion did I see?
It could be one of few people.
Oh, then you better get moving. Because if it's anything of what you described, you need that thing, right?
He nods as he looks at the party with a bit of concern. We need to leave now. Feldrin, can you finish this up?
Yeah, I could finish it up. If it's any consolation, I I think it's going to take this guy a while. The Zan'Bi tribe is very distrusting of outsiders. I don't know exactly where the orb is, but they'll probably won't let this person in until they got full trust. So, I'd get moving.
Right.
Yeah, Lyra would run after Galerier and be like, "We have to leave now. An enemy is near the orb."
Taliesin will be running to Thribby.
Glarier, looks like he's about to round on a Lyra when she follows him. And he
You can
stops.
say, her
as she,
face looks a bit pale, like she saw a ghost.
What happened?
We got word from the person who scouted, and he described someone who looked like Amphileus, but when I contacted him, he was still in Imperial City.
Nothing is ever easy. Very well.
No,
He's
it's Mana Marco.
Glarior, throws up his hands a little bit.
Beside, no, it's never an easy path, it seems. But we can't let them have the orb. We have to go now.
Give me something to sink my claws into. Let's go. I'm with you.
Okay. You all gather up with Taliesin trying to explain to Tiny, hey, bad guy near orb, bad guy look like Amphileus. We need to go stop.
All Taliesin would just need to say is we need to go, and Tanya would just be like, yeah, okay, and just drop. He doesn't need a full. He can be told on the way.
Yeah, Rob will walk with you to the edge of the village, telling you what to look for on the sides of trees for a unmarked path that is straight shot to the main road to Hellstrom from Black Rose, and kind of describe to you how to get to Zan'Bi as quick as possible. And if you follow this path exactly as Ra states, you should get there without passing through this jungle with a difficulty movement, which is double time. So I am going to have you roll survival, all of you, to look out for what he's describing. I will say if you have an intelligence of 8 or lower, that's going to be at disadvantage because what he's describing is complex.
I'm proficient in survival.
Okay, then that cancels it out.
Okay, great.
Proficient in survival, and I rolled a fucking 5. Thanks, Glarior.
Let's go!
Oh,
21.
God.
Let's go!
21?
Oh. So I guess as a bit of flavor, can as he's describing where to go, can Tiny quickly throw his bone dice and ask, is the person there near the orb, or is the unknown person near the orb with Silanir's faction?
The answer is whoa. Which means bad result.
Okay.
So that would mean yes.
Wow, that's a very... Okay, I see.
Because, bad people being near orb that you need, it's a little bit more convoluted. You're like, whoa, bad result. Doesn't that mean no? But the bones consider, your nose starts to bleed a little, consider that faction bad. So Oh God!
Okay. Yeah, he immediately relays the information to the group as he picks back up his bones.
Just head straight the path that I told you and go. So, Alira, you are just under, so I would say like the second half after you cross the road leading from Black Rose to Hellstrom. It does start getting convoluted for you, but Tiny, you beat the DC by 1 point, so you're able to lead all the way there without a problem.
Yes.
Because this
Tiny
is
goes, like, full tracking mode.
Cindy, this is a skeleton. This is bones. You guys, to me, with my, but hear me out. It's Mana Marco. It's bones.
Just us at Fennec.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Fennec. Okay, yeah, Fennec is pretty good looking too. He's literally the guy from the trailer. Okay.
If I had to take a guess on who it might be, I'm thinking Fennec. He's the one that does the disguises and shit.
And I will say that it does take you about 7.5 hours to get there. And it is starting to get to sunset when you show up. Welcome to the Zan'Bi village. I think you guys might notice something. I'm waiting for somebody to see what I did different with this map.
There's very awkward lights.
There's our
Or is
very
that
awkward
doors?
walls.
Oh.
Yeah, that's because they're the structures and they're about 20 feet up. They're up on stilts, you know, like you see in ESO down at Lil Moth and stuff. So they're up on stilts and it's the classic Lil Moth buildings.
Alright, well, let's get them out.
Sorry, player was away. We don't need to recap it in character. But so there's a person coming here that's meeting with them, or is it like they're stealing it? Like
They're trying to get their hands on it. But the Zan'Bi tribe is extremely distrustful. So
Okay.
you might be if you want to do it this way, you could do it one of two ways. You could go bursting in, you'll have to fight everybody. Or you can have somebody scout the situation out. See where this quote-unquote Infilius is at, where the orb is at, and try and swipe it before. If you don't... Or figure out who this person is. Who this person actually is. Whether it's Fennec, Cylinear, or Villain. Or even Mana Marco. You don't know who it is. Maybe it's some unknown member of the Order of the Black Worm that you haven't come across yet.
Okay.
So, there's tons of possibilities. Their whole shtick is being sneaky.
Tiny would offer, I'm not stealthy, I can wait on the edge and come charging in if something happens. Just make a loud noise. But stealth might be our best option.
Parents are ready to go with sneaky mode.
Okay, so those of you that are going to sneak in, and that can include you, Glarier, because you can turn into a creature and remain unnoticed.
I was gonna say I can turn into birds now.
Oh, hell yeah.
I made
That
little
is
druid, I
true.
can fly.
Oh, let's go. He got
They fly now?
They
I can
fly now.
They fly now.
They fly now.
Oh yeah, look at that. 8 and 8 split.
Yep.
8 Circle of the Moon and 8 Storm Sorcerer.
Oh god, not this again.
I love 4s. Anyway.
I love even numbers too.
What's my wild shape? There it is. I don't know my shift list anymore.
Movie with dog shit.
Can I have like a tiny ass bird. Please. I love that songbirds are not something on the druid list.
Aside from Glarior, who's, I'm assuming, doing his own thing as he's shifting into a bird, right? Nox?
What do you mean?
Like
what
he's
type
gonna-
of bird are you shifting into?
I'm asking if he's preparing to shift into a bird. Like he looks like he's about to shift into something.
Well, I wouldn't say you know what it looks like when he's shifting, because he does it by accident.
Oh, still doing it by accident, I see.
Not
You know-
completely by accident. but-
Keyleth had this shit down by level 16. What's with you guys? Anyways, what's
I
your
just
flying
learned-
creature?
let's see. It doesn't give me a whole lot of options.
No, it does not, unfortunately, especially when you can't do up to CR1 yet. I don't know when you could do that.
I
So-
can. I can do up to CR2
Oh, okay. Okay,
because
okay.
I'm a moon druid. I wanted like a songbird or something inconspicuous, but it's like, haha, those don't exist.
I mean, you could you just
Haha.
use like a raven stat and just reskin it.
I guess.
Yeah, you could just reskin a raven if you wish, and we could call it like a bird of paradise or something like that.
I
I will allow that.
I'll take. Can I have an owl instead of a raven?
Okay, let me scroll down to owl. M-O, owl.
I'm sure there are marsh
Select.
owls out there.
Might
Hold on.
take a minute. Sometimes plutonium is slow as sh.
Oh yeah, you'll never guess what the owls that live in the marshes are.
Ooh.
Marsh owls.
Owls.
Now would be
Oh,
the
yay.
perfect time for the joke of, I don't want to alarm you guys, but one of us is an owl.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
No, it's
Um,
supposed to be Nox saying that.
God damn
As
it.
as Talazin asks the question, Glarior also seems to have moved past it pretty very readily. He looks up at the trees and like the canopy.
Mm-hmm.
And like holds up a hand like, give me a second.
A wing, just like, hold on.
he like he stares
Just
up
this
at
little,
the trees.
this little owl with antlers and just the glarier eyes.
Like, don't all owls just have Glarior eyes?
True.
No. They
Yeah,
have
these-
round eyes. They have round pupils.
Well, okay.
You know, like in cartoons, when like a bird character grabs something, their fucking wings just somehow like become fingers.
Yeah. Glarior like stands there for all of 10 seconds not moving, and then gradually, not like painfully slow, but his hair turns into feathers first, and then he just kind of like crunches down into the into the shape of an owl. And when he's done, he's like looking over himself like, "Oh, that worked."
Oh, that worked.
Green-haired lady from the background. Wow, that did actually work. Finally. Fuck.
His like his head snaps around 180 to look at Taliesin. Like I was gonna say that.
He looks kind of impressed, actually. Guess you can do it at will now. Well, right. Fair enough.
I don't want to alarm you guys, but one of us is an owl.
Who?
What?
Huh?
Yes.
Huh?
Just points, open mouth,
Starts
screech.
sweating.
If you see someone that's really bad like an anchorite, just screech, will ya?
He gives Taliesin like a stare. It's not like the dumb owl stare. It's like there's comprehension behind those eyes, and he he looks a little uncertain about it, but he flies up. He gets a little shaky start, but he gets a hang of it, and
You are
Mr.
free
Man
to
is
move
yelling
about
at
the
me.
cabin.
Yay. I don't actually know.
So have you guys figured out what's different about this map yet?
No,
because
I haven't moved around yet.
It's gridless.
It's gridless. Hey.
Congratulations! You're the first party of my campaigns to have a gridless map. In all your maps next campaign will be gridless. So to clarify the rules, for this one time I will be testing flanking, but next campaign there will be no flanking but the Esper feature of surround. On top of that, your tokens cannot be touching or overlapping in any way to occupy your own space.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, like about how far apart Taliesin and Alira were is acceptable.
Gotcha.
So like right about there. That's touching.
Excellent. Alright.
It allows, I personally like gridless maps better because it allows for more freedom in how the DM can build maps out and make them look a certain way rather than having to follow grids. So here you go. And it allows you to like position your character in very particular ways as well. Like I want to stand in this exact position. So.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Those of you sneaking in, please roll stealth.
I was gonna do something first, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So, I wanted to ask a question about this because it is a warlock weapon, specifically stated with the whole warlock feature in there. So, with the Weapons of Shadows is a one-time thing of invisibility, does that go... Like, I know it doesn't use the spell slots of the Pact Magic, but does it use, like, the same spell casting modifier as Pact Magic? Like, does it still follow Pact Magic rules? Oh my god, that's so fucking useful. Thank God. Cool. So,
because you're getting it from your warlock powers and your patron, who's the creator of the sword. So...
Awesome. So as he prepares to go in with Farron, he takes the sword out and like presses his hand on it. I think he'll give us a boost. Doing this quite a lot, eh?
Are you just casting on yourself or Farron as well?
I'm casting it on both of us.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I just like fly around, boss?
Yes, you could just
Am I
fly
gonna
around.
Am I gonna get shot? Okay.
No, you look like a creature. As long as you don't get right in their faces or let them see the top of your head where your antlers are, you're fine. Because the moment they see antlers, they're gonna go, the fuck?
Huh?
A flaw in the design, really.
So, how you edit your fly height, Glaria, where the fuck did you go? Okay, you're over there.
Yeah.
How you edit your fly height is you right-click your token, and you see where the 25 is.
Mhm.
You edit that, and that'll tell me exactly how high up right now. Technically, that tree's like 60 feet tall, so I just put you at 5 feet above the village plankway height.
I have no light sources. I don't care.
This entire map is lit, so because you have
Foundry
light
was
passing
like, hey.
through the. You have no light sources. Shut up, Foundry.
Yeah. Like,
Teh.
whoa. Hold on,
Don't you
just
also
a
still
minute.
have dark vision as an owl?
You do notice that, Glarior? That is where
Yeah.
the orb fell.
What? Where? Oh, this?
Where the little blast mark is, yeah.
The hole?
The hole.
Okay, cool.
Okay. You fly around. You two, I need your stealth checks at advantage, please.
Right.
And well, you guys can't see each other, but your tokens are touching. I'll forgive it for that.
Hey,
Just
Well,
going for-
technically, Farron, you can see him. What the hell? Because you have tremor sense.
Going from tree to tree.
Tree to tree. Okay,
even
so
when I roll low,
27
it's
for you, and 21 for you. Let me do some checks here.
God, dude, that's a
On
big
sheets.
fucking room. Yeesh.
Okay. Sight, or no, insight perception. Okay. Okay, you're good to go.
All right. Taliesin
You
would,
three are crouched behind a fucking tree out here. Okay.
Taliesin
Is
would
this
whisper. Go ahead.
Is this a tree? Soul? Or is it a bush? Soul.
That is a.
This.
DM is dying.
She died.
Is-
Oh no.
Oh no.
Hear me?
You're like
Hello?
bugging out really bad. It's like
Hello?
Hello?
It's like that.
Oh no.
Oh god. Oh no, she DC'd. This game is brought to you in part by Nug, if he's there.
He is not here.
Man, this is brought to you in part by my YouTube channel. Go check it out because I'm also hosting the stream. It's gonna be up later. Trust in us. Yeah. Just see them popping in and out on the street view.
Testing.
Hello?
Oh,
I
Oh.
also got kicked for whatever reason.
Oh.
Soul. Hello.
Soul, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Hear me?
Yes. Hello. Hi.
Just briefly.
oh,
Oh God.
Oh
you hear-
no.
You're bugging out really bad if you can hear us. If not, I'll just.
Just a sec.
Of course that came clear.
All I'm thinking of is the disappearing guy from the latest episode of Amazing Digital Circus.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
It's really fucking good, actually. It's one of their best
Oh
episodes.
shit! You know what else came out that I have to see still? Squid Game Season 3.
I still haven't watched season 2.
You should.
Watch it with me then.
Okay.
God.
You'll cry, because I cried.
Oh.
I have
Uncle
no
Ben, What
doubt.
happened?
Squid Game!
Squid Game!
If I cried, if I died, yeah, I died during the first one. If I cried during the first one, no doubt I'll cry during the second one.
My dearest Uncle Benjamin, what event has transpired upon you?
Cephalopod activities! See, I can get the shitpost references. Oh, there's a fucking exclamation point next to Soul.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
No.
Yeah, I think my Discord is seriously bugging out.
What if it didn't?
I think so too.
Say another full sentence.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Whoa.
We're currently suffering from technical difficulties while trying to tell our story, as our DM is the sole person who cannot get their fucking voice to work for Discord because of a bunch of outages. So we terribly apologize. This may or may not be edited out. I don't know how funny it'll be. Probably not.
It won't be funny. We're not funny ever.
That's not true.
Let me believe, okay?
No.
In the wise words of Stilgar, I don't care what you believe, I believe.
True.
I've literally only used it for like workplace related things.
I wanna Lisa Nagai.
I mean, I've used it for non-work calls, and I think even if you don't have an account, as long as someone gives you the meeting ID,
Yeah.
you can still join.
Let me see if my Zoom is still broken. It might be.
I would need to probably adjust the stream a wee bit.
We'd also have a timer, I think.
Best.
Oh yeah, because we need
Hello?
premium.
I'm
back.
currently on my phone because I have it on data right now. Our net is fucking up here too.
Okay.
Is
Are you?
Are you still able to interact with Foundry, or is
Uh,
that fucking up too?
Kinda. No, because I just made it's very delayed right now.
Ooh.
Um,
Stinks.
Let's take a break, go to commercial break, and I'm gonna see if I can fix the problem, and I'll let you know. Okay?
Yeah.
I'll be
Let's-
back.
All right.
Okie dokie.
10,
We
15
will
minutes.
be back within hopefully 10, 15, if not 20 minutes. So we'll see you soon. Welcome back, Elder Rolls. Spectrum sucks.
Spectrum does suck.
DM is back.
Thank you, Scanlan.
I'm proposing this now for those who are watching the stream or have watched the stream. We are going to continue the game. However, if the game does give out again, the session will end shorter than what we want. But so far, we've done a little bit of testing, and the technical difficulties have ended. So, yeah. Hopefully it holds so you guys can enjoy story.
Keep in mind, with my luck that I've had throughout my life, it's gonna start dropping again any moment.
And with my luck, in my life, it won't. So, 50-50 chance.
Shade just dropped out a little bit. That's great.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
It's my turn.
It's okay. That was a him thing. It wasn't a you thing.
Okay.
That's a very common East Coast, West Coast server moment.
Oh, we're on Central still.
It's still a very much me being East Coast Central server moment. Anyway, the stream heard it. You guys probably didn't hear everything, but that's fine. So yeah, we'll continue until something else happens. Smile.
So, getting back in the zone, you
yes.
guys are watching a scene of an older brother comforting a child
Yes. And
a dad talking to him.
And I rolled an insight check to see if the child was upset. I rolled a 23.
Upset and a little worried.
Okay. Based on the... Because Taliesin is able to study the facial expressions of the other tribe that he actually understood. Does it look like that they're talking about something bad based on not just the child but the parents? expressions.
Not necessarily something bad. You were able to pick up on a couple words, I would say, with your being an Imperial. You're able to like pick up on speech and languages pretty well, as it's a part of your race. You were able to pick up that this kid is scared of outsiders. Just period. Outsiders, period. Clearly, the Zan'Bi, from what you learned from Raw, is that the Zan'Bi tribe has their flights of fancy and has their moments of like finding reasonings in things that happen and praying to a higher power. But at the same time, they're very reclusive, as with most of the remaining Lil Mothit. And I want to point out that there's not a whole hell of a lot of Lil Mothit. Maybe dotted throughout Black Marsh, about maybe 300 to 400.
Yeah.
That's not including the enslaved ones.
Right.
So, yeah. There's not a whole hell of a lot of Little Mothit, which is why most of Tamriel doesn't hear about them anymore, or if they see one, they think it's a weird-looking Khajiit. Because, like, Khajiit have a lot of fur stalks, right? I mean...
Yeah.
Cat.
It's funny.
Is that a cat points to a butterfly?
It's funny you mention that, because my Lil Mothit in a different campaign was always called a Khajiit, or a weird-looking Khajiit.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very nostalgic right there for me. Anyway, he's looking inside.
It was a running joke for Ruru playing Q in Monday game. Is that, hey, you're a weird-looking Khajiit. But yeah, it looks like they're untrusting of outsiders. The kid probably has never seen an outsider before, so...
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the door is open. You can go in there without being seen, but you can see that this door across the way is closed.
All right.
So sneaking out would not be good.
Yeah.
But you can also tell just by a cursory glance that seeing is what you know is that they tend to try meaning in higher power in like they've been seeing in like scrying that they've been bowing to it and worshiping it.
Mm-hmm.
It is not here.
Okay.
Then after a minute, the dad goes over, gives the kid a pat. Oh yeah, and that door's technically just you're looking through a crack.
Yep.
And opens the door and heads through, leaving it open.
Okay, and this door
and then
is
you
closed.
watch as the brother tucks the little kid into their thing, then comes this way toward the door.
Okay, he will step to the side so that he doesn't get in the way of the Lil Mothit, and he'll push Fair into the side as well.
Mm-hmm. And he walks past into the other room, and you watch through the door as he goes over to the table with the cookies.
He will start moving quickly.
As far away from that kid as possible, because you can see that they're curled up with the bedroll cover to their chin.
I can see your shade moving, so I think that was where to go.
Cool.
You watch him open the door and go inside and talk to the two guards. And as you walk closer, if you're going to, you can see Infilius talking to a wise woman, two guards, and now the adult male.
Okay.
And inside, you also see a bunch of pillows with a book and what looks like... What's your passive medicine?
My passive medicine is...
10!
Yep.
Is that a desiccated person with food around it?
Okay. Huh. That's interesting. Based on...
You can roll a medicine check to see if you can identify what type of corpse it is.
Sure, why not?
From this distance.
Feel
From this
terrible.
distance, will be a little bit higher. Yeah, you can. You don't see any non-fox people, Tiny. It's a dead person. Farron, you are... If you move just a little bit closer, you can see it too, and you can roll a medicine check.
Alright. I'm not proficient in it, but whatever, why not?
It's fine, I'm not proficient in medicine either.
Let's see, what should I... We'll do this one. 14? It's a very old corpse. It is very old and dried, and it's sitting upright, so it's been dead so long that it doesn't fall over. You can sneak in and get closer, but you don't know who this imposter Amphileus is that you see, who is talking to them.
Could I make...
But you can tell that's not Amphileus's voice.
Based on the inflection of the tone, considering that I have heard each of the anchorites speak, and I also know, because one of the persons that came to mind was Cassian.
Yeah, you've heard Fennec speak a lot. You heard Cylanir speak a lot. You heard Arclane speak tons. You would know that inflection. The two you have not heard very well is Davthin and Verlaine. Verlaine even less than Davthin. And Davthin's dead. You just killed him.
Yes.
So that narrows down the anchorites quite a bit, because it's not Davthin, it's not Arclane, it's not... because Arclane's also dead. It's not Fennec, and it's not Cylanir, and it's definitely not Manamarco.
Okay.
It could be one of the lessers.
Yeah.
But seeing... With your level of wisdom... I think you have a pretty high wisdom?
No.
Correct? No.
I have a flat 10.
Intelligence is what you have high.
Yes.
With your level of intelligence, you're like, would Manamarco trust a wormling with this?
More so, what kind of wormling, if at all, would he trust in this task? Because all the really trusted ones are probably dead, because we killed them. So this
yeah, because
has
you
to
and your
be...
allies killed him.
So this is either Verlaine or someone we don't know.
You do know... let's put together what you do know.
Mm-hmm.
You know that Solace, based on Feldrin's words, has left the Adamantine Tower.
Yes.
You also know that some other of the higher... By Vanis's words, some of the other higher-up wormlings that were involved in the plot from the start are in Imperial City right now.
Yep.
What else do you know about movement and knowledge of, like, the wormlings and anchorites? Where would Cylanir be? Where would Fennec be? Where would Verlaine be right now? What information had you gathered of that to discern who this person is?
Well, we know that Verlaine is traveling, based on the last time we saw him. We know that Cylanir is...
Which was days ago.
Yes. We know that Fennec was recently, and I mean like literally yesterday, within Alinor, and we also know that Cylanir's main station is in Alinor. Fennec can move around anywhere. However, he's probably... Well, the only logical solution to this would be either Verlaine or Fennec, because Cylanir has a very high position, and is also preoccupied with controlling Alinor. Fennec is the one that is the mastermind of shapeshifting and deceit, and Verlaine is the outlier. Like, we don't...
Verlaine is the unknown, the one you don't know very well.
Yeah. aside from the fact that we know that Verlaine had a hand in dealing with the companions at one point in a very negative light, that's really about it.
Yeah. So, I think you've only seen Verlaine once in person. He seems to fly under the covers, under the radar, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Go under the covers.
Damn.
Yeah, damn. You also know he's Ndassi's older brother. Because Ndassi has admitted to that and said that he's a shame to the family. This was way back in the beginning of the campaign, before we even started the stream, guys.
Yeah.
Chat. So from that knowledge, what do you want to roll a history check to see what you remember about Verlaine that Ndassi told you, or are you going to try and remember from your notes on your own?
Well, let me see. Let me type in Verlaine, and then let me type in Ndassi.
There you
all
Discord's getting
personal
ya.
effects. Verlaine killed Neloth's kids, and Ndassi.
Not Neloth.
Hmm?
He's never had kids. That's his own. He killed own children.
He killed his own kid. Of his own kids.
Both of them. Both his daughters. He killed both of his daughters.
I think
He
my
was
Discord is
also-
dying now.
Verona.
He was also the same one that Tiny had the dream of.
Yes.
I'm getting the cutouts too, so.
From me?
Hmm.
Oh, fuck.
On, like, occasion. I don't know if it's still doing it.
Oh, I thought that was me.
No, I heard it too.
He's trained in magic. He's trained in magic and the ways of a buoyant armiger. They trained and emulated the deeds and skills of Vivek. Very skilled in combat, and evaded the Telvanni for 15 years after killing his children. Verlaine's wife is dead, and this is allegedly the breaking point, or so Neloth told us. Verlaine also killed Feldrin's son and wife. Let's see.
What an asshole.
Verlaine's wife got ill and died.
For real.
Amicia.
Sometimes when your true love dies, you just absolutely batter.
I wonder how that's relatable. Anyway, let's see. Verlaine had also like a hand in dealing with Gazdon's tribe. He's also wielding the Ebon Mail, which is terrible.
Oh dear.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Apparently Farron's mom died and was poisoned by members of the Thieves Guild because Verlaine told them to, and Verlaine was also the one to request clearing out shit specifically that is within Thurby's backstory, which I said already. I thought it was the Silver Hand, but it was actually Worm Cultist disguised as the Silver Hand. He was trying to specifically weaken the companions, and this is based off of Fennec's notes.
Yeah. So what
That
does that
little
tell
fucker.
you about Verlaine? And his motives and how he behaves? And keep in mind, he has never been caught this entire time.
I would definitely say that he's kind of similar to Fennec, but not good. Like, you know, if you mentioned that Fennec is like sane and neutral, but imagine like if Fennec wasn't good or sane or neutral and actually had morals about it. Verlaine is not that. He's doing this out of pain. Quote-unquote pain.
The question you now got to ask yourself is, where's Halmaki? Where is the Prince of Elsewhere? You know Endring is dead. Arn killed him.
Yes.
She was very happy about that.
Yeah.
You know Salus fucked off somewhere. You don't know where.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's a case of narrowing down who this could actually be. And you have the pieces of the puzzle right there. At least for a damn good guess.
I mean, okay, so based on how this version, because this is what I was going to base it really off of, is there anything slightly different at all from this version of Amphileus?
Roll an insight check.
Because...
As you watch him talk, and this is not Amphileus's voice. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
20?
He's going off of the time that he had with Amphileus, which compared to the rest of the party was the most, because he helped him with the whole fucking getting to Groth back thing, so he was able to study Amphileus's mannerisms, and he knew him from being a child-ish.
Okay. So, I want you to keep in mind that while you have comprehend languages as an innate spellcasting,
Yeah.
and I did forget to long rest you guys. Hold on. Because you did wake up in the morning, and I just forgot to hit the long rest button.
Oh,
Give me a
whoops.
sec. Yeah, no, I got it. I can long rest y'all at once. Is while it says it's innate spellcasting and that's a spell, it's technically not a spell. It's an imperial racial ability.
Okay.
So it is innate. If you want to, you can use it and not break your invisibility.
Really now? That's actually
But-
really cool.
Yeah, because it's not a spell. I just used the spell because it's exactly the verbiage that I wanted for your innate ability.
Okay.
It's exactly how I wanted it displayed.
If you'll allow that, then I'll do that then.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll pop it.
Pact magic. 24 spells known.
Yeah.
2 spell slots.
Warlock moment. So anyway.
Yeah.
Taliesin's, I guess he does it like naturally when he's trying to listen in really hard.
It just comes through.
Yeah, and even when he's not like trying to understand the language, because this isn't what Taliesin's doing, he's trying to study specifically the mannerisms to see if he recognizes the person.
Okay, so with that, you can now hear the conversations that's being had. I fully appreciate your ability to text such a powerful artifact, but it really belongs with me. We can protect it very well. We know exactly where it came from. And at this point, I want you to roll a history check to pinpoint the voice. Because his back is currently towards you.
Sure. Does it sound familiar at all?
Let me check your roll here. Because I was on the... You didn't roll history check.
I was asking. Okay, yeah, I'll just roll it. That's fine.
That's what it's for.
Yeah.
It takes you a moment listening to him talk, and then you feel your heart sink to the floor. That's Villain.
Okay.
Surprise! Anchorite fight.
Okay.
You're just like, surprise, boss fight.
That's not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, no, it's not good. He did send an anchorite directly to handle this.
He steps back a bit as he's hearing him talk. And you hear, Farron would hear, "You've got to be fucking kidding me," as quiet as possible.
I want you to roll another stealth check at normal for your voice only, because you're speaking, so that does not include in invisibility. You can't invisible your voice.
Even if it's a whisper?
You don't know what his perception check is. Oh. It matches his passive perception.
Of course it does. Why wouldn't it?
Yeah. So we're gonna do a roll off. We're both gonna roll d10s. Whoever rolls a highest wins.
It's not gonna be me, watch.
Are you sure about that? You just barely win. He does. You do see him pause for a moment, look around. It must be wind creaking. Anyways, back to our discussion. If I need to earn your trust more, I am more than willing to do that. I am also a aficionado of extinct species, and he motions to the body. And I'm very interested in looking at this Kothringi body, if you're willing. And the older lady says, at this point in time, we don't want you near our sacred objects, but if you can stay here a little longer with us, we are more than willing to maybe allow you closer, but we have to wait for our chieftain to return. Of course. Yes, I'm sure your chieftain will return. You want to insight check that?
Does he say it like that?
Yeah.
I don't...
Exactly like that.
I don't think, Taliesin would need to, because if it's Belaine, that chief is fucking
He
dead.
probably killed the chieftain.
Yeah.
He fucking killed the chieftain.
Like I said, Taliesin's a smart boy. If he's trying to say, it'd probably take some time. It might be a while. That motherfucker dead.
I will return to my painting then. I'll be sure to have some gifts ready for, and he motions around the room, for your lovely meeting hut. And he turns and he walks toward the door and he stops, staring directly at both of you. Keep in mind, you both have killed recently, within the past 30 days.
That's cloak.
Not a cloak. You have a fog. The only one in the party with a full cloak
It's Caldron.
is Caldron.
It's a good thing he's not here, but it doesn't fucking matter.
He, after a brief stop, he pushes past you, stops. Oh, you both are fucking dead. Walks through, and you watch him look back to you, and then turn and immediately go for the child. And that's where we'll end today's session.
Great. Great.
This motherfucker is sadistic.
I love that no one else is here to see
Yeah.
that.
No one else saw that, but Taliesin, possibly you, depending on where you're landed.
I have a question.
Where are you on this map, Glarior? You're
I'm
so
in the
tiny.
tree.
I have a
Oh,
question.
you're
here.
on the
Owl.
tree. Which tree? Ping yourself.
Here.
Okay, you saw from that distance. You have owl eyes, so you can
Mhm.
see pretty darn well. That's like your main feature is your owl eyes.
Yeah.
You looked across, and you saw quote unquote Amphilius stop, his mouth move, and then go into that hut.
Oh, okay.
You don't know your friends are there. You don't know what's in that hut. But you saw fake Amphilius. You don't know it's Villain. Stop, move his mouth, smirk, then continue on.
I have a question.
Hmm?
Did Owl Glarier happen to find the magic orb while he was flying around?
I was gonna
Yeah.
ask. I can see in
Yes,
here.
you can see it.
Is
And
it
you also see 3 little Mothit in the room with it.
okay? I was gonna ask if that's what I
Circling
thought
around.
it was. So
That's it right there. And you are watching the patrols, and you notice a lot of the patrols are focused around that central hut.
Hmm.
But as you finished looking at the orb of Kinnereth, you look up and you see that happen. And that's
Okay.
where we'll end today's session.
Yippee.
With Verlaine possibly killing a child. Remember, what's worse than a rapist? Boom. A child.
A child.
No.
All right.
Wholesome
Well,
family moment.
after all that, that's man, this is gonna be something. Thank you guys for watching. Much shorter session than last time, I'm afraid, but that happens.
Bring your
sometimes.
popcorn, everybody.
Next week, be potentially, and I do say potentially, a Verlaine fight. It's good for now. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to follow me on Twitch, and if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. Helps us a lot, helps me a lot. It'd be wonderful if you did that. But yeah, you will have a wonderful night. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Hey.